Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9 mid-season finale Whisper shocking extended reaction video. This is stream number 5, everybody. We made it. What a Walking Dead day. We're still going strong. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who've been here since this morning. Enduring, this is like a marathon. So we want you to park yourself here. Let's get some extended Walking Dead chat. Thank you so much. I see a ton of people. There you go. I'm back, Hippo. We got some unfinished business that we have to talk about. A little bit of the sneak peek. We saw Negan walking there. Some people they think he's still on the dark side. I got to tell you, I just, carrying the shovel, going up to see Judy. I think he's going to say goodbye to Judy, and then he's going to bury Lucille and move on from Lucille. Write it down. You heard it here first. I think he's a changed man, and we are going to talk about some of that back and forth with him and Father G, whether or not Father G did actually leave the door unlocked, because I got a theory with that as well. Hippo, Beta, and Daryl definitely going to have a throwdown, no doubt. There's going to be some hype around that. Father G, I think, is going for an extended... he's going outside of the realm. He said he's tried everything with him, and he's hoping that he sees a human or something down on the inside. I think Father G realized the only way to get to Negan is to free Negan. That someone's going to have to show a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith in him, and then he's hoping that he'll return it, and that he's changed from all the bad ways that he had. So, Drama King is already shipping Magna and Daryl. I could see that. They look like they have a lot in common. They're both kind of similar personality. But what would happen to Yumiko, Drama King? Can't leave her out in the cold. Would that mean that Yumiko would move on to Tara? Just a little bit of... I don't know. More I think about it, I think Daryl will just be solo. Scott Kernan super chatting says, not going to be able to come. Pike the like button. Absolutely, Scott. Thank you. Scott, you've been here for a ton of streams today, too, and I want to thank you just for your insight, contribution, keeping some of the comments fresh. Many of the super chatters have been in full effect today, so appreciate all of you guys being here. Also, the moderators are working double and triple time. Let's... do me a favor, as we get the stream kicked in and we get some of the reaction I'll go through, you guys just give me a quick shout out or give me a quick 999 for all the moderators. Moderators have just had an incredible season, the first 8 episodes, and we've been going strong all summer long. I mean, not only have we done a ton of streams around this, but even prior to each episode, June, July, August, just hyping it up. What a great job. So thank you. I want to say I appreciate each and every one of them. I don't want to make this about Henry, but Henry did get some serious airtime. Thoughts about Henry? Hope for Henry? Are we getting to know Henry a little bit more before they kill him off? Or is Henry going to carry the torch? Maybe they're going to perhaps kill off Ezekiel? And the bond with Carol and Henry is going to grow a little bit stronger. He did. Henry's a little bit intoxicated and then went to jail, just like Earl. Henry's too much of a dreamer. Few people don't like Henry. I'm right there. I'm not really feeling this story. He was that kid with the stick, is what they referred to him as. But the one thing he did do that I liked was when the kids were torturing the walker, he actually jumped down and he wanted to end it. I didn't see the humor in that either. I mean, just put it out of its misery. The walker did not choose to be a walker. That's what's really... It's tough because we see the walkers as evil, but they were people, and they probably would want to be out of the equation. So the fact that, dude's peeing on the walker and they're playing some game, I don't know. I'm not saying that they deserve to die, but I wouldn't lose any sleep if any of those two guys died on the show. Mark, we saw Alpha, and we saw Beta, and we saw Lydia. Matt, whether they were a couple, whether they weren't a couple, they were spending time together, they were sneaking there for 6 years. It's not, to me, it's not relevant to the storyline. It never was. I think, we look for these moments of reprieve or happiness or these relationships. They're certainly there. But I'm actually looking forward to it getting dark and creepy and frightening. And I think the relationships are a nice novelty, but when they focus on them too much, it just waters down the show. That's my opinion. So Jin Lee says, which one of them killed Jesus? Just a random one. Just some... It wasn't Beta, that's for sure. Whoever it was, he got wasted. This guy's checking our time. Danny Grace, dude, 11:15 on 999 watch is clearly like 11. Yeah, we actually started at 11:09. So much excitement, we just wanted to ramp it up a little bit early. So, hopefully everybody was here early. Will be joining us soon. Jenna, that's a great question. Where is Rosita? Michonne showed up, but I did not see Rosita. Well, there's two possible scenarios, Jenna. One, Rosita is a little bit further behind because I think they had to restrain her and Michonne headed out a little bit early. Rosita might save the group. Let me give you guys two scenarios. Scenario one, Rosita shows up and creates a diversion where they can escape, or Rosita heads out and she will be one of the ones that gets captured. Maybe her and Luke. Like plenty of people here, they can't sleep. But you know what? Another 42 minutes and it'll be Cyber Monday. So you can just go online and start doing some shopping. Chris Riddle, super chatting. Listening only tonight, but love you all. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate that. And Valar, I think Valar has done a super... Absolutely. Has counted down each one of these with super chats. Thank you so much, Valar. More importantly, thank you for being here. Your dialogue, your involvement, and all you do for both the channel and Patreon support and everything. Appreciate that. It's late. You guys don't have to type. I know some people have family that's sleeping, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure. We're all getting together. I kind of feel like us doing this late night stream. Kind of like we're all a bunch of Henrys sneaking away and drinking moonshine, if you think about it. Like on the outside of the gate. Maybe not that bad. E-Beach says, great show. Will Negan be taking over a community? No. Negan's trying to find his bearings. I think he just wants to tell Judy goodbye. And the shovel. He's not going door to door. And come on, give him a break. I'm going to get into the Negan story in a minute. Amy Ferrero says, Carol confirmed finally for doubters that RJ is real. Especially my good friend, I think it is from Germany. Is it Michaela Stockbauer? Michaela, are you here somewhere? Probably really early for you. But she was the one fighting me tooth and nail, I think, about the RJ. And I'm like, Michaela, we got to move on. RJ is real as it gets. It's like, no. It's now finally we can wholeheartedly put that to rest. So Kirkman did confirm lots of Negan in the second half. Interesting story with Negan as well. We saw a lot of Daryl. I do like the Daryl Magna Yumiko combination. I think we're going to see some awesome crossbow skills. But this is my all too early prediction. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I know a lot of you, it may not make any sense, but hey, I've given some bold predictions before. Negan's telling Judy goodbye. He's going to find Lucille, and he is going to bury Lucille with that shovel, and he's moving on. That's my theory. I'm going to stick with that. Write it down. 11:25. I've just got this gut instinct. It's like before the spoilers come out, I said that Negan was going to kill Simon, and I just had the same vibe, and I got that same vibe right now. Usually, when I get that, we're money. Jimmy's Jammin' says, kills Emmy, Steph, Tommy, and 999. What's happening? Super excited. Episode 10. Plus for me. It absolutely was. We came up with some scores a little bit early. We had a couple thousand people in the stream rotating in and out, and there were a lot of people that rated the episode really high, Jimmy. So I think this group's going to be right there with it. I'll do a follow-up rating just to get it in this video as well. Grayland28 says, really want to know what the hell happened between Michonne and the other communities. The tension is palpable. I got to say that I think the marks were self-inflicted as a reminder to Rick. And then I just think there were some fallouts. People didn't follow the rules. They wanted to have their own, the way they honor people, the way they arrest people, their own jails. I also think that there was some animosity between Michonne and Maggie because, remember, Maggie was face-to-face with Michonne. So when word gets back that Rick was out there trying to cut Maggie off, and that's why he ended up dying, I'm sure there was a big fallout between the two of them. Beyond the step aside and Maggie going and talking to Negan. And I just think it carried over into the communities. It's almost like there's Alexandria, there's Hilltop, and the kingdom is neutral. They try to get along with everybody. Mark Jacob kills. How far is the Whisperers territory they crossed into from the Hilltop? It's a good question. So, the towers where Eugene climbed up, the Whisperers been kind of minding their own business, but it does appear as maybe there's some expansion going on. And I don't want to give the Whisperers too much of a pass and say, well, this wouldn't be happening if people weren't kind of going on their territory. But you can always talk things over, right? You start building, if you're a Whisperer, and here's the deal, they don't. So it really supports what we've talked about the last month or so. I think the Whisperers have been killing. I think they already have got it in their DNA. But it looks as if at this time that it's all about territories. But it's not really about territories. I think that's part of it. I think it's just who they are. Otherwise, they would just try to work out some boundaries and say, just don't come into our territory. They're here to destroy and take over. Would you agree with that, Gamma? Where's my resident whisper? Wow, we got like all kind. We got Theta, we got Gamma. We have actually got like a whole crew of them. I'm sure we'll have a Beta pop up here in a little bit. Yeah, the bridge could have something to do with it, for sure. But the location of the X's really just, it makes me go back to, it's something to honor Rick. It's just too convenient that a couple people have these, and I just don't buy a war and they were tortured and, Daryl and Michonne are going to be stabbed in the same place that Rick. I think it is showing their bond, and I think it's showing their unity. I'm just jumping around a couple topics here. Well, Hippo, it can't be too... I mean, I know what Michael Cutlass said, but it can't be too coincidental and convenient. I mean, what is going to be a B movie, Revenge of the Rebar, where, random people are just falling into rebar? I think it's got to be intentional. Yeah, there's going to be some conversation between Lydia and Daryl, and also that's where Henry's going to stick his nose where it doesn't belong. That's what's going to get him in trouble. I did see that, Villar. Daryl's got a couple scars. If it was in remembrance of Rick, wouldn't the X's be on the front? Well, it went in from the back. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's like, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know where they saw Scar, how they would have known Scar. But I would think the assumption would have been that he fell on the rebar and it pierced him from the back if he fell off the horse. Especially, it'd be kind of hard to wrap the belt around the rebar if he was, putting his arms. Don't even visualize it. So we did this a little bit earlier, and I just want to ask the second follow-up to the group. In the countdown, I ask you guys, based on the spoilers, the information that was out there, rate the episode from a 1 to a 10. We got some really, really high scores. It was awesome. And then we did the reaction video about an hour ago, and a lot of people were giving it 10. So it may be repetitive for some of you, but I want to ask you just one more time. Get it included in this video right now. From a 1 to a 10, what do you think tonight's episode was? And I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say it was an absolute 10. I thought it was amazing. American Pride has a super chat and says, Daryl's 2 exits, 1 for each brother he lost. Yeah, possibly. Merle. And Rick. Awesome. I got to figure that if people are still up in the 5th stream, RJ, it surprises me that you would give it a 6. You definitely have that right. But, dude, you're up at like 11:30 at night getting involved in a live stream talking about The Walking Dead. And either you have a lower rating scale than the rest of us? Or what would it take for you to give the show a 10? I mean, I'm not hating on you. I'm just wondering. I'm very curious. Because that just seems... what was it about the show that you would have only given it a 6? Just curious. Yes, Steve, I mean, the Henry scenes, I didn't have a problem with it because I just think they're planting a seed for the future. Colby Dennis, great streams all day. It's been 6 years now. Any chance character returns by the finale that we haven't seen in a while? Colby, I definitely think that's a possibility. I think it'd be very risky to say that a Morgan or a Morgan and Alicia or a Morgan and John could make their way back up. But anything is possible. I mean, 6 years, who knows? Now, I know some people said, well, then you'd have spoilers. You'd know who's still together, who's not still together. I'm okay with that. I would love to see Morgan and a couple other people help fight the Whisperer War. But it's not everything can be fully explained. I certainly think Dwight will be back. But where's Dwight been? Maybe Dwight has been happy with Sherry. And yeah, I could write this into a story really easily. So Julie J says, how many of us have been here all 5 streams? You know what? That's a great question. And then we'll get into that. I'm super curious about this. And just be honest. Give me a quick 999 if you've been here for all 5 streams. Just, there is no prize. I just want to know. It's pretty amazing, though. I mean, that is some Walking Dead marathon dedication. Look at this. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. So, this group must be doing something right. Yeah, you guys are great. You guys are great. Absolutely. Replays count. June Smith, community separation, not good, very sad. Yeah, it's Michonne at this point that just doesn't want to merge everybody back. But I did think it was interesting that Aaron was sort of, or Ross was alluding to the fact that Aaron could lead Alexandria. Perhaps Michonne exits the show, looking for Rick, maybe. I'd hate to think that, I'd hate to think anything beyond that happens to her. Oh, Magna, you know, for her to go in blindly and risk her life and Yumi's life at the same time to help a group of strangers. Yeah, well, Pirate Michonne. A little out of the time frame from the comic, but it could still work, right? Sheila Mack, thank you for all the streams today. Will you do Fear? We absolutely will do Fear. All right, so I'm going to just throw this out there. Because it was asked, and I have to ask the question, and it's something we will talk about. I don't see it. But in the comic, Michonne left. Pete was there, and Sadiq was there. Any possibility, I even hate even saying it like this. It feels disrespectful to me, to Rick. Any possibility that there's a romantic interest between Sadiq and Michonne? I'm going to say no. But I've had several people that are already talking about it. I know it's been 6 years. I just don't feel it. But I just want to see how many people are There's a few. Yeah, I hope not. Look, Michonne deserves a right to move on, but I just... You've seen too many movies where that type of thing happens, and then, Rick sees it, and he's, oh, okay, maybe they'd be better off if I never come back. Why have them mourn all over again? That type of thing. I mean, how many times has that been in a movie or a TV show where they take the high road and they just don't want to go back and get involved and be disruptive? I don't want to see Michonne move on, and I don't want to see Rick not get involved at some point, either in a movie or interact with some of these people somehow. Jimmy's jamming. I wouldn't mind a Marvel team up between Rick and Michonne for the movie. Damn. Hey, got to add Judy in there too. Thomas D. It's Lori and Shane all over again. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Just checking out a few of your reactions. I'm still here. Sheila, we made a pretty big commitment to Fear the Walking Dead last season, so we're going to go full steam ahead. I didn't think prior to last season the episodes were always good, so some of the chat, some of the conversations, some of the theories were a little bit dry, to be honest. Last season, I thought there were good hidden clues. I thought there was a good story. I thought there was good character development. And that's really what I'm looking at, is whether or not we got good topics to talk about. It wasn't the show was terrible the first 3 seasons. I thought it was okay. I just didn't think it made for good talk show. Jason the Mixologist said, Kills, this is a 999 theory. The walker in the beginning of the Walking Dead intro is Jesus. That walker has no hair with one blue eye. Now I got to go watch it again. Paying a tribute to Jesus. But there is going to be a funeral. So you got to think that Aaron puts him down, Jason, maybe? I mean, we saw in the preview, they go back and it's a pretty big event. Kimberly Smith. Daryl got most of his scars from his and Merle's dad from the beating when they were drunk. That's why Merle left Daryl when they were kids. It's a good call out. He had a tough life. Colby Dennis. It's crazy that Glenn saved Tara at the prison, and now Tara is running the show with Maggie and Jesus gone. She is, unless someone else wants to step up and take over that role. I don't think Tara wants to do it, but it looks like, I don't know, maybe she will. She didn't really seem to want to do it when Jesus was there. She wanted him to take his responsibility, even though she was working behind the scenes. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's her new story arc. Sheila Beasley, I thought tonight's episode was a 10 plus plus plus. Yeah, it was really good. All right, one more follow-up question. I ask you guys a lot of questions. Also, if you're new, do me a favor, subscribe, come back. We want your opinions, we want your thoughts, we want you to be involved in this channel. So, and also everybody, pike that like button. We can get this thing up to 250 likes by the time we finish this stream. All you got to do is slide the mouse and hit the thumbs up button. All right, so far we've got 8 episodes under our belt. This is a question for everybody, so your participation is greatly appreciated. Yes or no? Best season of The Walking Dead ever. Now look, they've had some challenges. I know people weren't happy about Rick leaving, but I thought the way they wrote it was phenomenal. Sergeant Chosen One, shout out. My new name, Beta the Chosen One. Oh man, Gamma, you got some recruits there. Top 3, says Danny. A lot of people with yes. Lisa Khaleesi says yes. Amazing writing, Tommy. Drama King's a little hesitant to say ever. Great season. No, not yet. June's like, who was happy about Rick leaving? Let me at him. So a lot of, I think a lot of fans have really recommitted to the show. And I've seen some really, really positive write-ups this season. So there's not a lot of people out there dogging the show. I mean, Forbes and TV Guide, you never know what they're going to say and what their articles are going to be like. But it does seem like No. Captain Caveman, obviously that's not going to show up, but RJ is a result of Rick and Michonne. Not anything from another group or any other relationship that Michonne was in. Sean says, I would say it's challenging to say the best season ever. Angela really knows how to write some storylines, that's for sure. I think people are always going to be a little partial to season 1, but season 1 really isn't what won me over. I liked it, but it was just so different. It probably wasn't until about 3 or 4 and where I really loved it. But for me, this is the best. I just like, God, the filming was so good tonight. The effects were good. The camera angles were phenomenal. Every little detail I thought was great. I mean, the firecracker scene, and the Jesus fight scene, to give him that role right at the very end. Yeah, and the fog just kind of set the mood. The story where they were all, I could see the conversation with Eugene, Daryl, Jesus, and Aaron. I could see that as a conversation that we have, right? That like 3 or 4 of us. It's late at night, you're a little bit delirious, and somebody brings up a wild suggestion, and then you kind of entertain the thought. It's like, and these are chats we've had. Well, Daryl's like, that's stupid. Walkers can't learn to talk. And then, and then you have like Jesus basically saying, well, the fact that they're dead and they still have brain power. I mean, just kind of the back and forth, right? You have one person that's basically, no, there's no way it can happen. And then how many times have we justified that and said, but hang on, they're walking around eating people. So if they can do that, why can't they learn that? So for that brief moment of panic, they humored themselves and talked about it. I thought that was a brilliant scene in tonight's episode. Really kind of struck me that it just wasn't everybody saying no. It seemed like a legit suggestion in a moment of panic. And the dialogue and the acting so good, sometimes we take those little things like that for granted. I'm catching a couple comments here. Hold tight, everybody. Kimberly G. Love seeing a quick glimpse of Beta. Hey, you guys, you appreciate all those glimpses now. When they start cutting people's heads off, it might be a different vibe. It's all, I heard that a lot with Negan. Um, when we first got the introduction of Negan, when he walked out of that RV, there's so many people like, oh my God, finally, we get to see the man, we get to meet the man. And then boy, when he had that scene with Glenn, it totally changed. I don't think there's any saving the Whisperers. I don't think there's any recruiting them over for moments of redemption. I'm going to pass Sheila on the Whisperer name. Theta Whisperer says, so kills. We showed ourselves Morgan in season 3 or 4. He said he saw the dead wearing living faces. Yeah, I do remember that, and I think everybody thought it was just a hallucination. Got to be careful whether it's a legit Easter egg or something that actually happened. It's kind of like when there was a bat, I think, was it on the way to Terminus? And everybody's like, that's Lucille. I don't remember where it was, but there was a bat that was kind of found. Yeah, dog was amazing. How many people, even though they knew the dog was going to live, were still kind of afraid the dog wasn't going to live? How about that? Because I got to follow up with that. And American Pride says, perhaps the funeral was a flashback to Rick's funeral? It could be. There could be some fill-in-the-blank moments. I don't think so. I think they've moved on. I don't think they're going to show us a lot of that 6 years. So all the people are saying me, like they were still afraid something was going to happen to the dog, that just shows you how good the writing was. It shows you the vibe and the mood was legit. Because I knew the dog was going to live, based on spoilers, but I still was afraid. It's like I had to prove it to myself. Kev, I would agree with you. There is nothing more like Daryl than naming a dog Dog. I think that is the perfect name for the dog. But we don't know. We haven't seen 9 yet, so we don't know how long the dog makes it. I think the dog's going to live a long time. All right, we are going to do an extended chat tomorrow night. So let me make a couple announcements because we're rolling up on probably about 40 minutes or so. Just because Talking Dead is taking a break and The Walking Dead is taking a break till February 10th, we are not taking a break. So we will be here tomorrow night talking about some of the things that are going to happen in the second half. There'll still be spoilers. There's still going to be information that's going to come out there, some things that we're looking forward to. There's already some of that information is there, but we'll probably get into some of the death predictions, some of the complete recap. This has been an unbelievable Walking Dead day. I think I just hit a wall a little bit ago, so I am going to wind this thing down. I know many of you have been kind of legging it out, supporting the channel and being here for each one of these streams. So thank you so much. We hit 5 today. That was our goal. So Appreciate you guys being here for each and every one of them. Many of you that haven't, go back and watch some of the playback, read some of the comments. Do me a favor, slap that like button. And also, if you watch the playback, make sure you chat with some of the other people. We got some overseas fans that won't get a chance to watch some of this stuff until tomorrow morning. And I just want it to be very real for each and every person. So I got one more super chat in here. We got Angie Homan says, it ends with the dog. Old man dog. New theory. It's going to be out there. We will be doing our thing tomorrow night at 9:30. So if you are super Walking Dead fans and you love talking about the show every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will be here at 9:30 every single night. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here. Just want to give some special... I'm not going to do shout-outs tonight because I'm just super... I think I'm drained at this point, everybody. So thank you to all the patrons, top left-hand corner. If you're interested in becoming a patron, there's a link down below. Sponsors in the top right-hand corner as well. Moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, wonderful job. All the super chatters today, a ton of super chatters. And, of course, the biggest thank you is for each and every one of you, the 999 Army. It is real. So you guys, the teamwork, the family environment, something special in this group, and I just look forward to hanging out with you guys each and every night. So thank you so much, and I will see all of you tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.